Books are intimate. The reader is engaged intimately and physically and actively in going through the narrative. And that, the thought of somebody not just looking at what I've created on the wall, but actually holding it in their hands and engaging in it in one way or another, I find very compelling. I went to Otis in the early 80s. And so as a sophomore, I was exposed to letterpress printing it was a class called Graphic Production Procedures, and we set our name in metal type and put it in a Vandercook 219, which we still have in our lab, and we printed our names. And to say this was a transforming experience is an understatement, because it really grabbed me so fully that, instantly I thought, this is it. This is what I want to do. My work always has a narrative. And part of what I enjoy about books is this sequential narrative that can grow, crescendo, have different phases throughout looking at the book. But I'm not a book artist that the structure of the book or the physicality of the book is the main thing. Most of the bindings I do are hybrids in some way, because I've bound many, many, many structures, and I'm comfortable with a lot of structures, but there are ways when you have enough knowledge to pick the mechanics of one sort of binding and combine it with another. Like with The Young Man of Dave Chamlee, that book, because of its subject matter about my grandfather and his time as a cowboy, I wanted the book to have an old-fashioned look, and I wanted it to look like something that a cowboy could use in some way, and so that led to that particular binding, which is a long stitch, sewn together in a long stitch. However, the binding itself, the way the leather works, was pulled from an ancient binding called a Nag Hammadi. They're all single section codices that have leather covers with tackets and end ties and wrap bands, and so a lot of the bookbinding language came from those books. However, it's a multiple section long stitch binding. When I was a student at Otis, it was, I graduated in 1985, so that was 32 years ago, and I've been making work, printing and binding all that time. So unless there was something wrong with me, I've gotten a lot better. And I have a lot of curiosity about pushing the process. I just have much more experience than I did then. But when I look back at my student work, I'm really proud of it, because I was a good printer then, and I'm a good printer now. And it's gotten more complicated, more ambitious. I have more time for these. I don't have to get something done in the course of a semester or half a semester. Experience can't be underestimated. It takes a long time to get good at this stuff. And if you can hook yourself up with somebody that you admire, I was really lucky in that way. And I think the arc that my work has taken over my career has a lot to do with Susan King. And I think if somebody can find a teacher or a person that they admire that they can spend time with, I think that's really valuable. If you can recognize, what resonates with you and where you can find that. And I feel like I got incredibly lucky in that way, to find somebody that influenced me that much, that was such a perfect role model for me.